Okay, so believe we should be live. I'm just trying to get over to the chat box page because I can't see everyone, so I don't know like how many people we have that may be waiting on us. We should be live. I'm just trying to get over. There it goes.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, so PMR Bones and Dice Rollin is here. Horror Addicts is here, so yeah. We're here, maybe just a minute late, but not too bad.
Yeah.
So it looks like everybody made it over okay from the last stream.
That's pretty cool.
I was actually focused on trying to get this thing set up, so I've missed quite a few streams.
How do you share this link?
Mine's auto set up to where it shares the link to my Twitter, but it should be if you go to my page, it should have the link on there for the share thing.
Oh, okay. Hi, Monty G. I keep forgetting that your name's Monty G.
All right, and let me see. Gory's asking me for the link. I'm not sure if that's the same one that I was talking about. But yeah, I guess we should just start by introducing ourselves. Obviously, I'm Horror Retrospective. I've been on YouTube going on about 7 years now. I do a variety of different types of film reviews. My thing is I mostly enjoy doing things by theme. That's what keeps things entertaining to me. So like on Sundays, which I haven't posted my video yet, is supposed to be Satanic Sunday, which is like usually like devil or possession type films. Wednesdays, I do media discussions. Fridays is usually just like a free day, whatever I want to review, unless it's the first Friday of every month, which is usually Fetish Friday. I know I have quite a few people that look forward to that. And then, of course, Saturday is the film short reviews. But I don't know, like, do you have any particular type of themes or any ways that you like to do your channel?
Not really. I usually just post videos and I'm Shaunicle Reviews, by the way, to everyone. But I just post videos of me reviewing horror movies, and I put polls on this app called Horror Amino, and I put polls asking people like, what movie would you like me to review next? And then around 7 days, I get the total, and then whichever movie wins, I review, and it takes me about like 2 weeks or 3 weeks for me to finish the whole thing. Yeah, that's all I do.
Excuse me. So like, do you do any like particular type of themes also? I mean, I know that's like something that I'm big with, but I know everyone's different. Or do you just kind of like whatever you feel like doing at the time?
Yeah, but I'm trying to do fan commentaries now after I review the movie. Like I reviewed The Lost Boys, and then I did a Lost Boys commentary. So I think I'm gonna do that from now on, where I have a movie review and then a commentary thing to go with it. So
Okay. Yeah, I still haven't checked that one out. I mean, I know most people are like really big into The Lost Boys. I know it was like a really big movie I was into when I was growing up. I mean, I even used to like quote like portions of the film, but who hasn't done that? Just quoting everything out. All right,
Hi.
Lori.
I was so tired.
Okay. Yeah, we were kind of like struggling on our own to get ourselves sorted out, and then I'm kind of like, "Ooh, we don't have Gory." Oops. Did I lose sound?
what?
Oh, I thought I lost sound. Sorry.
Yeah, if I look scary, I'm sorry, guys. I did get up though, and I showered, and I put clean clothes on just for you and Chronicle. So
Yeah, I took a shower too, but it was like very quick.
I'm pretty much in the same boat. I crashed out last night. I woke up sometime around 11 and I'm like, okay, I need to hurry up and get dressed.
Ouch. Yeah, I've been awake for the whole thing though. I took a little like 2-hour nap, so thankfully Danny took over for a bit, so that was nice.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how late you guys stayed up. I think I crashed out sometime around 11, but I've been like sharing the live streams on my Twitter. I fell behind, but I'll get back to that.
Does anyone have any questions down in the chat? I don't see anything. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm just reading through the chat messages since I kind of like rambled off and I wasn't like keeping up with anybody's comments. I don't know if there's like any questions or anything in there. Bearded Slasher has the Atomic Breath Godzilla. I still have not grabbed that one yet.
What would you guys like to talk about?
I don't know.
I know I was at Best Buy a couple of days ago, and it's just kind of something I wanted to bring up really quick because I don't really like keep up with newer things, but I ran across Blood Feast. I didn't know it had been remade, so I actually thought that was really cool. Like I had picked that up, and I was like reading through the back synopses here, so it didn't even dawn on me that like right up front. It actually says, you know, basically does tell you that it is a remake. So I'm reading the synopses and I'm like, hey, this sounds familiar. And it just dawns on me like, duh, it's a remake.
Original Thanksgiving.
And the person I was with, they're kind of like, well, what's that? I go, well, it's a remake of Blood Feast. And they're like, so? And I go, well, it's from, you know, Gordon Lewis. And they're like, well, who's that? I'm like, well, he's the godfather of gore. And they're like, so? I go, well, he's like one of the forerunners of the slasher genre. You know, total crickets moment. I'm like, fine, I'm just picking this up and walking off with it. But yeah, I mean, that was kind of like my lead. So I know eventually I want to take a look at that. So I just gotta...
Is the remake good?
I haven't seen it yet. I definitely want to take a look at this, and I'll eventually treat it like as a franchise review on my channel. But I just wanted to mention that really quick. Like, I don't know if anybody else has run across it or if it's like new.
I heard
know.
about
I've never heard of that movie.
I only just recently saw the original, so.
I've only seen the original once. I've only seen the sequel once, so I think it'd be kind of fun to just like revisit that and just kind of like try to see it from its time period compared to now.
We hosted our first Thanksgiving ever this year, and so people were like, "What Thanksgiving movies can we watch?" Oh yeah, Blood Feast.
That's funny.
Someone asked about, hold on, PMR Bones 88 asked, what are your thoughts of the upcoming of the new Halloween Returns? I really have no thoughts because we haven't seen a trailer yet, and we've only seen like set photos, right?
I'm excited that Nick Castle's involved and John Carpenter, of course, Jamie Lee Curtis. I am a little nervous that Jamie Lee Curtis is wrapped already after 3 weeks, but I mean, you can still get a lot of filming in then, so.
Yeah. I mean, she wasn't in H2O too much. I think they filmed all of her stuff like, wasn't it like a month or something for H2O?
In H2O? She's a big part of H2O. Do you mean Resurrection?
Oh, yes.
Resurrection. The beginning?
I meant Resurrection,
yeah,
not H2O.
That one's probably my probably the bottom of the barrel of the Halloween movies for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm just sad we don't come up pleasant. Yeah, same.
I really don't have too many thoughts on that. Like I've been following it like super loosely, so I just rather just kind of go into it with fresh eyes and just see it for what it is, because I don't know if like maybe her scenes were like filmed out of sequence and they're just cutting her in later. Like I don't know if maybe she had some other project and maybe that's why she wrapped up so quick. I mean, it's kind of like too open for speculation right now.
Well, there are whole movies that get filmed in 3 weeks, so I'm not going to let it worry me too much. And I mean, at the end of the day, we still have Halloween, we still have the movies we love, and this could be a really fun addition to the franchise. And if it's not, oh well, we still have the originals.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely.
get.
The second one really trips me out. It's like every single time I watch it, I notice different scenes that I didn't see in it before. So it's like always a new movie every single time.
Like what?
Um, just like little things. Like I know the last time I saw it, for some reason, I could have, sorry, I had noticed kind of like the little, for the, gosh, I can't even remember who they were anymore, but they kind of went off and had like some little hot tub sequence. And I'm like, I swear I don't remember that last time. I don't know.
Have
It's
you
just weird.
gone back and watched a movie and it's completely different than you remember? Like, I've watched movies where I could swear to God there was another scene in there or something. Like, I don't know if I saw a different version on TV or whatever, but sometimes, like, when I watch stuff from my childhood, I'm like, that's just not right. Like, that changed. I don't know. I probably sound like a crazy person. I've also been awake a very long time.
No, I kind of have that with certain movies, but I purposely go for like long periods of time without watching something because I kind of want to pretend it's like the first time I've seen it, even though I've seen it a million times. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get that. Like when you really revisit something you haven't seen in a long time, and sometimes it's very different just because you're of a different age, and so it's like I remember I read Cujo when I was really young, and I reread it maybe like 4 years ago as an adult. I'm just like, there's no way I understood half of this book. So much of what involves like adultery and stuff. There's no way I got that. So it's like a completely new experience.
Yeah. Oh gosh, the first time I read that, I was in like junior high. I finished it in a week. I mean, I thought it was a great book though, and I like how they didn't let them have the happy ending. Like you have to deal with the consequences of your actions, and you fix it yourself. I liked that.
Yeah, and I mean, Cujo is such a tragic character because you sympathize, especially if you read the book, and I think you get it from the movie too, but you sympathize that he was a good dog.
Mhm.
He never wanted to hurt anybody. He got sick. And especially if you read the book, like, that moment where he sees the boy who owns him, like it says that it was the last bit of himself that he was able to hold on to just so he wouldn't hurt this person that he loved so much. Like that book breaks my heart.
Yeah.
And even when he sees the woman and stuff, he doesn't understand what's going on because he's sick. He sees her as a threat, but he was never a bad dog. I feel so sad for Cujo.
No, yeah, he totally is one of those tragic characters, just very much victim of circumstance. And unfortunately, people are just so ready to see a certain type of dog as just vicious, and they have to be careful around them. And that's just the wrong mindset, because any dog can be a good dog. It's the owner that should be held accountable for the pet's actions, not the animal.
Yeah, and he couldn't help what happened to him. And they could have gotten him a rabies shot. He could have not been bitten by the bat. And in a lot of ways, it kind of reminds me of a lot of other tragic horror heroes like Frankenstein's monster. He never asked to be created or to be created the way he was, created by the doctor. So, Cujo's a lot like that. He was put into a circumstance that he had absolutely no control over.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the whole Wolfman also. I mean, he didn't ask to become what he became. You also have like that mutant character from, was it Funhouse? I mean, he's very much a tragic character also. I mean, they didn't want to be what they were. It just happened.
I think that makes him a lot more sympathetic too.
Yeah, definitely a lot more relatable. I think we've totally pushed Shaniacal out of the conversation here. Sorry, and I know I totally mispronounced your channel name. Sorry. But do you have like anything to add?
Because I get it wrong all the time.
I knew people would get it wrong, and I think that's half the fun of having a weird name.
But can you just say it for me so I know?
Sean Ickle. Sean Ickle.
Shonicle. Okay. Yeah, I totally like slaughtered your name.
That's fine.
Yeah, because I mean, I wasn't trying to push you out of the conversation. I think we just kind of got into that, and I realized, oh, you haven't said anything. I mean, like, did you have anything to add, or I mean, like, any characters you feel maybe are just misunderstood or badly represented?
No, I was not talking because I haven't seen Cujo yet. We're talking about so. But I think Freddy Krueger, though he is a child molester and a child, like a child killer. I don't think he deserved to get burned alive. Really, like he should have spent time in jail. I think jail was like enough, but I don't think he should have been burned alive, and then now his face looks like that. That's really it.
My whole standpoint on that would be, like the whole pedophilia. If that's like a mental illness, because it's regarded that way. You have no control over your actions.
Yeah,
It's the way
exactly.
you're wired. You shouldn't be judged for it, and you shouldn't have certain things held against you. Yes, you should get treatment. If you know that you have certain tendencies, then you should avoid certain areas or situations. But the thing I hate is that people are like, if someone discovers that someone's a pedophile, it's immediate like disgust. Like I hate you. You repulse me, rather than just trying to understand things from their point of view. So that's one of the things that just really irks me is people are still just very close-minded about a lot of things, even though we have like so much information in this era, which is kind of unfortunate in my
One
opinion.
thing I would like to see, because I mean, like you said, it is an illness, and at a certain point, I think a person who has that illness recognizes that I'm attracted to children, and that is not right. Or I want to, I want to hurt people. I want to cut open animals. There's something wrong with you before you've actually committed a crime. And I think it would be nice if we lived in an age or we were able to make it possible to where if you had those kind of impulses, you could go and get mental help for free. No questions asked, kind of like how we had that system set up where if you don't want your baby, you can no questions asked, take it to a fire department or a hospital. I think if we had something like that, maybe we could prevent some pretty ugly crimes happening.
I
But I
think
think if you committed that crime, you know right from wrong. And at that point, I don't have any sympathy for you.
Yeah, I mean, once you've done the crime, if you know better, then yeah, no sympathy. But I mean, I know, and I don't know like the names of these organizations. I've run across them. They have like their own support groups where they get online together, and they kind of like have, like their sponsor each other through it. So I mean, they recognize their own illness. They try to help each other with it and try to get through and deal with it, which I think is just awesome. And then you have outsiders who come in there and just act like absolute jerks, trying to treat them like they're the scum of the earth, when really they're trying to manage themselves as best as they can, and you have like some outsider just being a jerk, being totally judgmental. I don't think that's right either.
There's a movie called The Woodsman with Kevin Bacon that is about that. Have you guys seen that?
Yes, I thought that one was great. I haven't seen it in forever, but I think it was actually I think it was a very good portrayal because there was no sensationalism or anything, and you do see that he does struggle.
They're talking about Willard and Ben in the chat.
I haven't been keeping up.
I love those movies. So I grew up on those. So those are amazing. And I even like the remake with Crispin Glover.
I love that one. I especially love that they have Crispin Glover in the remake because I know he's like such a nerdy and dorky character, but I think the role he's just sexy as hell. So just an excuse to watch it.
He's being so quiet.
Oh, am I? I'm sorry.
I'm like, I'm gonna not talk, and then he'll talk, and then he doesn't talk.
Oh,
Yeah, that's kind
I'm
of like why I came back earlier. Like, oh, I didn't realize we pushed you out of the conversation, but I know my screen keeps doing kind of like this weird glitchy thing. I don't know if everyone can hear or see me okay, or maybe it's just my program here.
In Hangouts, it will usually switch the screen to whomever's speaking. Maybe that's it. I'm not sure. I'm not a Hangouts expert.
Yeah, because I mean, I'll have like these green lines pop up, so it just kind of goes like really, really wonky. But I don't know, maybe it's just me.
I don't know. What about you, Shonicle? Is there a horror character that you find sympathetic or relatable?
I kind of relate with. I don't think I relate with him, but I feel sympathy for Jason because he was drowned and he turned into like this ugly creature, and then everyone started like messing with him and calling him things, and then he just started killing. Not saying I would do the same, but I mean he chose his route, so he kills people.
Well, and he only kills after they kill his mother, and according to different people's interpretations of the story, I mean some of them he saw his mother be killed in front of him, because he was watching.
I don't believe that because that sounds a little too unrealistic. Like he was just in the woods, like cooking.
There's people who think that he was just in the woods, like he survived and she wouldn't allow herself to accept it. And then there's Ari Lehman, who played first Jason, the kid version. He believes that when his mother died, like her blood hit the water and that's when he became a zombie and he came back like as a vengeful type character.
That was honestly my take, kind of like he was like some sort of a vengeance spirit, and that's why he came back like in the sequels, and that's why everything continued on from there. Just kind of like that bond he had with his mother had kind of been broken, and he wasn't okay with that.
He's like the Crow. It's like the same freaking movie, guys.
Well,
I remember Voorhees too. I mean, as a mother of a kid with special needs who has been bullied quite a bit, I get my mama bear hackles up, and if my child were to be murdered like that, particularly due to people's negligence, I don't know how crazy I would go. No,
it's definitely understandable. I mean, especially when a child's involved and you don't have people being responsible when they're in the care of that child at the time. That's totally not okay. I think it's warranted that you would go off the handle at that point.
I think that happened to me particularly because, like Mrs. Voorhees, I only have the one kid. At that point, I'd be like, well, I have nothing, else left to lose. I'm gonna probably, I don't know. I think I probably would kind of lose it, and especially when you have a special needs kid and you devote so much of everything to caring for them and protecting them, and it becomes. So, I think you get in a kind of an investment that's a little bit different than when you just have a normal, healthy kid, particularly a child who's bullied a lot for their disability. It makes you a little more protective.
No, definitely. I mean, you have to develop a tougher skin. I mean, you as well as the child have to develop a lot more coping mechanisms. So, I mean, I can totally get that. And it's entirely different from, say, a mother who has lost one or two children who actually never got to meet her child, as opposed to someone who has spent so much time with their child and you've bonded and you've got this closeness. It definitely hurts a lot more, I can imagine.
I love you guys. This is so funny. These awkward pauses.
Monty G had a question, but I was scrolling up and then I couldn't find it. So I was just waiting for you guys.
Oh, what was his question?
Talking. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, he said horror retro. What do you think about women in horror since this is Women in Horror Month?
Ooh, good question.
Twice.
I think it's definitely come a long way. Kind of like you have this whole argument with women in the beginning, like you take a look at Sally in Texas Chainsaw Massacre and people are like, oh, she's one of the original final girls and she was so tough. No, she wasn't. She was screaming her head off the entire time. She was trying to survive. She was doing the best she could to get out of there. I don't consider her like a true final girl. She's a survivor, but like you get to,
which one you're talking
about? Sally from like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, I don't, and it's probably rude to say, but I don't think she deserves the title of final girl because she didn't like actually go up against Leatherface. She was just running.
She's broken at the end of that movie. She is mentally broken And they say eventually, if you watch the sequel, she dies in a mental institution. But I personally don't think she did survive. Mentally, she can't go on. I mean, she's not much different than the woman at the end of The Descent. Just because her physical body made it away, she's never going to escape that terror. That terror is going to haunt her for the rest of her life. So I don't think she did survive.
Yeah, I mean, in a different standpoint, and this is why I love Ellen Ripley so much. I mean, in Alien, she actually does go up against the creature. She outsmarts him. She gets away. She survives. She continues to come back, and she kicks his ass every single time. That's a fun one.
What John Carpenter said about Laurie Strode and Halloween. He rejected a lot of the notions people have that, you know, the final girl's the virgin and stuff. He's like, no, she smokes a joint in the movie. The reason she survives is not because she's a virgin. It's because she's the one who's paying attention to what's going on. She's not so wrapped up in her social life or with boys or whatever. You know, she's actually seeing what's happening around her, and that is what gives her the ability to survive because she's aware.
Yeah. She didn't sleep.
Do you guys consider Alice a final girl from
Friday the 13th?
No, not Nightmare on Elm Street. Friday the 13th. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, she survives, and we see her in the second one, and she's trying to move on, and she does fight back. So, yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
But I mean, to a degree, you can also look at, what was it, Nancy Thompson in Nightmare on Elm Street. She outsmarts Freddy Krueger. She pulls him into the real world. She sets up these booby traps. You know, she was awesome. You know, I was very impressed the first time I saw that. You've also got Sidney Prescott, who is also very much, she has, especially in the first one, she has kind of like her defense mechanisms set up, and maybe that's due to the loss of her mother, but that actually set her up to be a proper final girl, as well as just, you know, a good role model for women in general. For, you know, you don't have to just take it. You can be proactive about your own safety, and you can definitely look after yourself and take care of yourself. And I think that's a great message.
And Sidney Prescott is one of the few final girls who actually survived her franchise. A lot of them don't. A lot of them end up getting offed in a later sequel. But Sidney, she's victorious till the end.
Have you guys seen Your Next?
Yes, I love Your Next. That is a kick-ass final girl.
I love
Ben Grimm mentioned it, and I forgot about that one, and I was trying to think about that one earlier. It's a pretty good movie. Yeah.
That is one badass final girl, definitely. It's kind of like she'd been training for it her entire life, which was just really awesome.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you wonder, like, why people don't take that time and care into, like, raising their daughters. You know, because necessarily vulnerable, but we do tend to be a target because we are viewed as the weaker sex, which is unfortunate. But it doesn't have to be that way.
Well, she was raised on like a military base, and I kind of related to that because I was raised on a military base, and maybe it's just that upbringing. But my dad was always big on, like, you know, all of us had to learn how to defend ourselves and such. But no, I'm not badass like her.
Sorry.
I mean, you're a badass on your own.
Right? Gouge out someone's eyes.
There. Yeah. I mean, like me at best, I mean, I know CPR, but that won't do anything for me if, like, someone's attacking me. You know.
So I do have 5 years of roller derby under my belt, so.
You'd probably be a lot better off than I would.
I got you, girl. I got you.
But yeah, I honestly don't have too much training in anything, and I would like to change that, other than just being able to change my own damn tire. I'm really not much use.
I only know how to, like, I know how to shoot a bow and arrow gun. Do you know what those are?
Crossbow.
Like, crossbow, that's what they are.
Oh, cool.
I learned how to do that in camp, and that's the only thing I know how to do.
Yeah, I love those things. I know they can be a total bitch to load, though.
Yeah, that's the hard part of them. Other than that, they're just like another gun. Wait, I have a question. Is Mother Mayhem the horror whore? Did she change her name?
Uh-huh.
Okay. That makes more sense. I was looking at it and I was like, that looks like the horror whore's picture, but okay.
I was gonna tell Lindsay in the chat. She said she has training in batshit crazy. Girl, you got training in Mama Bear. She knows what I'm talking about. It's that whole, like, your baby's in trouble, you will lift a car up. You will figure it out. Crazy.
I think I did see a question in here in the chat. I forgot
Yeah,
who
me too. That's what I'm looking for.
top 4 horror posters. Mine would definitely have to be Fright Night, just that whole iconic with the face looming over the house. I definitely love Nightmare on Elm Street. The other 2 are a little bit too more tricky. Probably Evil Dead, like with the girl who's reaching up out of the ground. The 4th one, I really don't know. I don't really have like a 4th one that just really stands out to me, but like, do you guys have like a top 4?
My favorite horror poster is like the Evil Dead 2 poster with the skeleton face and the eyeballs looking right at the screen, or the audience, not the screen.
Yeah, I love that one. I'm looking at my posters now.
Yeah, I have like limited posters in here. I've got Zombie, Maniac, I've got several Carrie, I've got the Saska's behind me, which I kind of made a joke about in a past stream, and then I've got like a signed Goblin poster.
This is the Japanese Army of Darkness poster here, but I think this one's really cool. Can you guys see it? It's got like the Campbell's soup cans here on the bottom. It's crazy, but I love it.
I didn't notice the soup cans until you pointed them out. That's awesome.
I like this one a lot. It's
That's pretty cool.
I know there was like a European one for Army of Darkness. It totally looks like very heavy metal album cover where he's got like his arms raised up and he's got the chainsaw arm and all this other like, hardcore stuff going on.
I think
also the Deathgasm poster is pretty cool. Like I like how that has the
this one?
All 3 main characters.
Is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one. I think, yeah.
I'm just like ripping stuff off my walls. Yes. It's the Gory Show and Tell Hour.
That's funny.
I really liked, I don't know if it's one of my favorites, but I loved the Planet Terror and Death House posters for the Grindhouse, where they made them look very retro. Those were really cool. One poster that I have, it's not necessarily like my favorite, but it's just the one that's always stuck with me, is when I was a kid, my parents had a poster of Christine in the hallway that led to my bedroom. And I don't know why I was like 4, but that one scared me so bad that every time I would go to my room, even in the middle of the day, I would run past it. So I don't know, I have like kind of an affection for that one now, just because, you know, takes me back. Ooh, Child's Play 2 is a great poster, Al.
Was that the one with the springed puppet head and the, I want to say like the oversized scissors, or was that a different poster?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, because part 3 is the one with the big face on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's not really cool because it's just.
It's not as good.
I loved the ending of it, where what was it, like the fun house, and Chucky gets like half his face sliced off by the face. That was awesome.
That movie's a lot of fun.
But Child's Play 3 also has like that Full Metal Jacket reference. They're like that one chant. God damn it, I can't even remember what it was anymore. Something about the difference between gun. I think everybody knows that one.
I like a lot of the really old, like 30s, 40s, and 50s movie posters too. I have a lot of those downstairs, like, you know, your classic like Creature of the Black Lagoon poster. House on Haunted Hill has a great poster. You know, any of the Universal movies, they have great ones like The Mummy and Dracula. Just the art that would go into them. I mean, they look like paintings. So, oh god, you know another one that's really great is the horizontal one of Evil Dead 2. That one's really nice too. It kind of goes back to that old style of movie poster where it looks more like a painting.
That just kind of reminded me of like that one. What was it? The one that stole from? Gosh, I can't remember. Like a far-fetched part, but it was one of the original poster arts that was created.
I'm sorry, you kind of cut out a bit, so I didn't really hear you.
It just kind of reminds me of when Dracula poster. I think it went like really high.
Have you guys seen the Deathgasm poster?
Yeah, I actually have that on the wall. Yeah. I think that's a great poster. I have that up on the wall.
I think that's my favorite.
Even in the 80s, we got a lot of that kind of painting style. The Nightmare on Elm Street posters, I think, had really great art on them. Like most of the franchise, 1, 2, and 3 had great posters. 4 is good. They all had really great posters.
Just really quick, early discussion about Final Girls, Dice Roller, that, what was it? What's his Nightmare on Elm Street? He could be the final boy.
Your audio is cutting out, so I'm having a really hard time hearing you.
Does that sound any better? I'm not really too sure what's going on with my laptop.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of cutting out a bit.
Difference.
Is the audio cutting out on all of us? Because maybe it's a bandwidth thing.
Can you guys hear me?
Here, I'll type it. I can hear you just fine. I was only noticing it with hers.
Okay.
Does that sound any better? Is it still all glitchy?
Do you have a lot of windows open? It might be a bandwidth thing. Ooh, Reanimator did have a great poster. I do love that one. Looking at my posters. I also love like collage posters. I just think those are always interesting because you end up noticing little things in the poster that maybe didn't notice at first. Like in the poster for Trick or Treat, lots of little things in the background.
Is my audio saying that you're like going without the echoey sound?
I'm not having a problem hearing you.
Yeah, I'm these settings. I mean, trying to at least get things on my end, but they're all just kind of going.
And I think what makes a great movie poster, not just with horror, but any movie posters, I think it should tell you in an image what to expect from that movie. And even the most simple of posters, like the poster for Rosemary's Baby, it's a very simple image, but it's very effective, and it gives you a good idea of what to expect from the film. They did kind of an homage to that when they did Mother. They did a poster that was very similar.
Yeah, there was another one called Shelley. Still tinkering.
Maybe headphones would help. I don't know though. I'm not trying to be the overachiever here and not be the one who's echoing. I feel bad.
I'm just kind of
let's see.
Is my audio better, guys?
I hear you fine, hon.
I'm talking to the chat.
Oh yeah, sorry.
They seem not to hear me correctly.
They're just trying to give you a complex, man. I dig your bow tie, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's not. I didn't do it like you can take it off. But thank you.
Someone in the chat says maybe it's your speakers are too loud. Like somebody's speakers might be too loud and they're echoing. So I don't know. Maybe headphones would fix that.
Okay. Does that sound any better? I did try the headphones thing. I don't know if I'm.
Or does anybody have the YouTube stream running? That would cause an echo too. Like if it's not muted.
I have it running.
But if it's muted, it should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I have mine on mute just that way I can see the comments easier.
Yeah, I've got it running too, but it's on mute. Oh, well, we don't have much time left, so I just say, let's power through.
Okay.
Ooh, you guys, if you're echoing, you guys should say epic stuff, like, this is God. I don't know, epic horror movie.
That's awesome.
Do it. I'm not echoing, so
Sunday,
I can't
Sunday, Sunday.
There you go. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Monster trucks.
Try muting the vid on YouTube. It's already muted.
What are your guys' favorite horror movie quotes? That's a good one.
Anything by Ashton Williams, really.
I know, right? Can that man do any wrong? I mean, he is so goddamn quotable. Yeah, Army of Darkness is such a quotable movie. I don't know if they're my favorite quotes, but the movie I quote a lot lately is
Trick or Treat, motherfucker.
That's a funny one. A movie I quote a lot. I don't know if they're my favorite quotes, but I quote The Greasy Strangler all the time. I was like, bullshit artist. I don't know. Have you seen Greasy Strangler?
I've only seen it once, but I don't really remember it because it was very weird.
It's not for everybody, that is for sure. I also love Sometimes Dead is Better. I love that quote.
Something me and or Retrospective we talked about yesterday was actors that we like to see in movies. I said Nicolas Cage. He can't do one.
Did you see Mom and Dad?
I was skimming through it because it was like getting very boring, and I think that he gives like another crazy as always.
Actors we'd like to see in movies, like, you mean like the ones we get excited, like we hear they're going to be in a movie? Well, I'm excited about Jamie Lee Curtis. That's a great one. I'm always excited when Bruce Campbell's in something.
Yeah,
that would be one.
I think he's like too.
Kane Hodder is in a lot of things, but that's always something that will make me want to check out a movie. I tend to really enjoy him, and particularly his stunt work.
Yeah. How old is he though?
I don't know. I think he's in his 50s, but I'm not positive. I was excited recently because
Victor Crowley.
Yeah, he did. I saw a movie called Family Possessions, and I watched that because Felissa Rose and Mark Patton, who was in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, he was in that movie, and it's his first movie in 35 years, and that was actually pretty entertaining. But yeah, there are a lot of actors, like Robert Englund's another one, where if they're in a movie, I will watch it just because they're in it, even if it sucks. What about you, Kara? You're being quiet.
Yeah,
I'm still fighting. I don't know if the sound got any better or not, or if it's still.
I can hear you good.
You know who I would love to see in another movie? Like, she doesn't even have to play her character, but Cassandra Peterson, who plays Elvira, I would just love to see her in more stuff.
Yeah. She, if I remember correctly, actually grew up in a small town called Del Rio, which is like near where I grew up, actually. So we're both small town girls.
Well, I can hear your audio a lot better now, so maybe you fixed it?
I don't know. I kind of hear like a little bit of an echo, but I'm used to working at call center, so I'm kind of used to ignoring the echo. So I mean, if it's tolerable to everyone else, I'll push through.
It's tolerable to me. I mean, I'd rather talk to you than not talk to you. Danielle Harris was one mentioned in the chat that I love, and also Catherine Isabel. She's fantastic. Ben Grimm mentioned those in the chat. Those are good picks.
Catherine Isabel is good, but for some reason she seems to have fallen into this niche where she like really is good at playing the stuck-up girl.
A lot of people, I think, get kind of typecast into a certain role.
Someone mentioned Chloe Grace, and I don't really like her.
I get nervous when she's in a movie. I mean, I like her, but I feel like whenever she's in a horror movie, it's a bad sign. You know, we got like the Carrie remake, and there's that Fifth Wave.
I didn't hate the Carrie remake. I thought it was okay.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't think she was well cast. I don't think she looks like a girl who would be picked on for being odd looking and stuff. You know, she doesn't. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, I agreed with that. I didn't much care for the casting, but I think attitude-wise, she manages to carry it.
I think
Also,
she did the best.
in the movie, she uses her hand to do the telekinesis. Like she would go like that, and then something would happen. And then in the original, she would just use her eyes to do it. And I think that kind of it showed like it was more creepy when it did it with the eyes, rather than just like she looked like a witch. So.
No, I think she's very talented. I particularly love her in Kick-Ass, and she's adorable in the Amityville remake. But I feel like maybe she's just very accessible. She gets cast in a lot of things, and sometimes I don't know if she's the best choice. But it's not anything to do with her performance.
To me, it kind of feels like she's turning into like a remake queen, because she did do, what is it, Let Me In, did Carrie, supposedly cast in Suspiria. I'd like to see something more original from her.
Started in the Amityville remake. Yeah, I have to agree. She's kind of the remake gal, and she's done some great stuff, though. She was fantastic in Dark Places. She played a very dark, I'm overusing the word dark, but she played a very different kind of character in that, and I'd like to see more of that from her. In movies that let her really stretch her acting muscles and show what she can do.
I watched both things. That's cool. Wait, is everyone talking about the Great North now?
Talking about Emma Roberts, I thought she was great in Black Hood's Daughter, and she's become, you know, kind of a Scream Queen now, especially after starring in Scream Queens and being in a few other horror movies.
Yeah, why did they cancel Scream Queens?
I think it's because season 2 didn't perform as well as the first season. It certainly kind of took a different direction. I don't think a lot of people liked it as much.
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny, but I don't think it was as sharply written as the first season. But it's funny. And the people who were in it performed well. I think if you like those characters and you like horror and you're just willing to have fun with it, it's good. But I do think that the first season was a little smarter.
I don't know. I haven't seen the second season because people have been saying it's not as good, and I have like a laundry list of shows that I need to catch up on. And I
hear that. It's okay. I just finished it like a couple days ago. It's enjoyable.
All right. You guys watch Ash vs. Evil Dead?
I love Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Isn't the third season coming out in like 7 days?
I think so.
Yeah, I need to catch up on that one. I didn't like the new Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
I didn't care for it either. And I mean, again, the gal who played Nancy does a good job. It just, I don't know. I like some of the things in it. I like that when A Nightmare on Elm Street came out, there was a big sex scandal. And so originally Freddy Krueger was meant to be depicted as more of a child pedophile. And they kind of removed that from the script because of the sex scandal that was going on at the time. And I think bringing that back added another layer of terror, especially the idea of being stuck in a world, like, you know, being in a coma with him. I think that's terrifying. And I like the micro naps, but overall, it just, it lacks I guess, the soul of the original. It just felt kind of, I guess, too much CGI, too plastic, artificial. I'm probably not using the best words.
The guy who plays Dwayne Johnson has been in a ton of horror movies. I don't know who you're talking about. Weird slasher. Do you guys have any favorite remakes? Not counting The Fly or The Thing.
I know I do. I'm just off the top of my head. I like the Dracula remake from the 90s. It was good. I like a lot of remakes. I think the Friday the 13th remake gets a lot of shit, but I really enjoyed it. I think you can tell in watching that the people who made it had a lot of love for the franchise, and particularly Derek Mears was very passionate about the role and dedicated, and I love that. Mm-hmm. Had great kills in it too.
I thought the whole remake.
And whether you like it or not, you can't deny that Rob Zombie had a lot of passion for that project.
Yeah.
He really put a lot into it. Ooh, Bunyip. I love the Blob remake from the 80s. That's a fantastic one.
I was going to say a remake that probably not too many people seem to like, My Bloody Valentine. I actually prefer it to the original. Just the original characters just annoyed the snot out of me. But, I don't know. I guess maybe I'm alone on that one.
I like how they switched up the ending. I thought that made it more interesting if you've seen the original.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the Dawn of the Dead remake too. That's what I was really excited about. And when I saw it in theaters, it did not disappoint. I mean, I still love the original, but I think that is a very solid remake.
Yeah,
it did its own thing. Hiccups.
That's fine. I sneezed all over the whole Charlie even. I don't know. I don't know if like maybe different versions you prefer, like American version as opposed to like European version. Like what was it, Dawn of the Dead? I know that version was slightly longer and had more scenes, slightly more gore in it. I don't know if there's like a version between like country difference that you might prefer over American version.
As far as American remakes go, I prefer the Ring to the Japanese Ringu. I just think it's a tighter story, and I prefer it, though I do like the original. I don't know, what do you think?
I'm a lot more familiar with the original, but I mean, I like them both because they're so different in their own ways. It's more like they're just different stories.
They are very different, and I mean I think what's great about it is because I think when you make an American remake, you should be interpreting that story for another culture, and I think it did that perfectly. It made it very American and relatable for American audiences. But if you watch the Japanese one, you know it's very much a part of that culture.
Yeah, that's my gripe with like American remakes of Asian films is they just don't translate well, and it's more like, what the hell are you doing? Get out of there.
Some of them, oh God, some of them are so flipping awful. Like I love Martyrs, the original by Pascal Laugier, and the American one was just soulless garbage.
I still have not seen that. I own the original, and I don't know, for some reason I seem to be like waiting for the right time to like sit down and watch it, but I've heard the remake is just to be avoided.
It's terrible.
I'm sorry I looked up. I had to go feed my buddies again.
Oh, your buddies?
Yeah, they're like right over there. Yeah, they're eating. Just my sister came and told me that one of them was like acting funny, and then I was like, okay. So I went over there, and then they wanted to eat it. I'm sorry, that's not related at all.
They just came out with a remake of Inside too, but I haven't seen it yet. I don't anticipate it being very good. But I'll watch it eventually. Inside, that's the one about a pregnant woman who is stalked by another woman who wants to literally cut the baby out of her. It's pretty intense.
That sounds kind of weird.
It's good. It's intense though. It's French extreme horror cinema. Well, we're almost done. Do you guys want to say anything before we pass it off to the next spot in the stream? Carl?
Who's the next person on the stream?
Dice Rollins on after us, and I do have her channel linked in our description. I don't know if my sound got any better. I know some people were saying it was annoying. Sorry. But I did have that linked if anybody wants to jump over to her channel, like whenever she's up.
And I can play the video for you. And thank you so much for inviting me to be here. And I just really enjoyed chatting with you and Shonicle.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for helping us.
And of course, thank you guys both for doing this crawl.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely glad that we were able to join in. I mean, this is definitely a very awesome opportunity. And considering that the whole demonetization was like almost the end of the world, it actually turned out to be a very exciting time for HorrorTube in general as a whole community. So it's definitely awesome the way everyone pulled together and turned it around into something positive.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful community.
Well,
whenever you give me the go ahead, I will play the video.
It should be good, just that way we don't step over Dice.
Here we go.
All 24-hour marathon continues, featuring today's up-and-coming horror tubers. Howdy, y'all. This is Dead West and Mandy from Screaming Soup, the web's #1 animated horror host show. We're proud to present the 24-hour marathon, Creepy Channel Crawl. We know the trials and tribulations of getting a YouTube channel up and running and how it's even tougher to get seen. Recently, YouTube's made it even more difficult with new rules saying any channel with fewer than 1,000 subscribers and less than 4,000 hours of view time from the past year can't monetize its videos. This not only prevents the channel from making any money from its efforts, but impacts its potential of being distributed on YouTube for viewers to discover and become fans.
That's why the HorrorTube community has come together, resulting in this 24-hour marathon organized by the Horror Addicts. Every hour, a different YouTube channel continues a live broadcast, helping raise awareness for other horror-related channels at risk for not meeting these new requirements. We encourage you to help HorrorTubers in need of support by clicking those subscription buttons, watching their videos, and raising their viewing time. Visit HorrorAddictsTV.com for the full marathon schedule with links to each YouTube channel ready to go live for your screaming support.
Now don't y'all go nowhere, because this tag rodeo is just getting started. Click the link and follow this live stream and hold down to the next exciting channel.
Next in the marathon, we have Dice Rollin.